Legal action over the Nimrod disaster.
Cameron at 11 o'clock, but now a final transport of delight. Fairy tales.
Thank you for travelling with Caledonian MacBrayne, and we hope that you enjoy the crossing.
Open Coast Guard, Lord of the Isles, Lord of the Isles.
Lord of the Isles, Open Coast Guard, good morning.
Good morning to you, TR for you, sir. We're outward bound at the moment for Ferries. You haven't got the updated forecast this morning, one have you, over?
Aye. Lord of the Isles, Open Coast Guard, yes. Wind this morning, south or south-southeast 7 to gale 8.
The Lord of the Isles is bound for the island of Tiree to pick up cattle from the November auctions.
Gale 8 or severe gale 9, over.
Yeah, okay then, got that. Thanks a lot for that.
The master is already anxious about the weather.
An indication of the weather conditions we're getting. There's an old saying that when the maids are weeping, it's too windy to go into Lochaline. And today is a good illustration of that point. The waterfalls are being blown vertically upwards.
The weather's getting steadily worse, making walking tricky for the passengers inside.
Lord of the Isles has always been a happy ship. We have several changes in crew and a lot of people coming and going, but we always seem to maintain a happy and good atmosphere.
Right, Davey, these chips out yet? Come on, that's 5 minutes, we've been waiting.
You only asked me 2 minutes ago, geez, a break, eh?
Davey, it wasn't 2 minutes,
Hey.
it was more like 5. Come on, Davey, there's
Right,
one stick
hey.
out there. Come on.
It's a cook's ticket I've got, no a magic one.
Davey, come on, well, that's 5
Here,
minutes.
you want chips? You want them?
Davey, look.
There, there's frozen ones, take them. God's sake, yes.
We've got meals sitting here and there's no chips to cover them. And we can't put it in the microwave because it's got salad stuff on it.
Everybody lives on board all the time, and you get a much closer and more cheerful atmosphere as a result.
There's your chips. You want to come and get them?
One of the attractions of travelling on the ferries to the Western Isles is that you meet up with a subset of society that is almost closed. Everybody on these ferries knows one another. We know the crew, they know us.
You must be travelling every time I'm off. I haven't seen you for a while.
Oh, just like seeing you, you know.
What a chatter blind there.
Well, something like that. No more Latin Barra, you know.
Same again.
Right. All right, pal. Huh? You all right?
I'm going to expose my appendix to 128 rapt people in the village hall. I do stand-up comedy and I play the pipes and I fall on my haggis a lot.
Once we come around this point here, we're going to be exposed to all the sea and the swell coming up from the south, and we should be getting a lot more motion then than we are at the moment. But once we get out there, we'll know all about it.
Oh, hey, that was a big one, that, eh? Did you feel that? Fuck's sake.
Oh, fancy.
Well, that's the kind of thing I like, I know, a nice big, oh, hey. Yeah, give it yeehaw, no problem. Chips. But rough, they don't know what rough is up here. My first trip to sea, I was cured because I was in a typhoon. You were in it for about, a good 10 days. But you think it continuously, day and night. So I think I get used to it, and I certainly don't feel ill ever again since. But as I always say, it doesn't taste as good the way up as it did on the way down, you see.
Common enough situation, this that we're in, will we or won't we, can we or can we not make the pier. It's basically down to the master to decide, you know, we're all consulting here, and he's put it to the shore that I don't think I can make it. What's the other options? And this is what's coming through at the moment.
If it's possible for you to come alongside to off the 2 floats so that these 2 floats are loaded for the morning. Over.
Yeah, so we'll carry on down and give it a try. There's no guarantee you'll be able to work the stern ramp, and with the conditions getting worse than they are, you might get the passengers off though. Over.
That's fine, I understand that, and I mean, I'm saying that it's kind of bad.
Oh, the crew! Roddy's from Tyree, Lahey's from Sleeping and Erin. Who else now? Tam, I've just discovered the second name today. Tam's married to an ex-pupil of ours, Katrina McClellan.
Ian, we're going to try and go alongside, just put these lorries off and the funeral craft it off, and that's it. We'll go. The Mull was going to do the outer aisles tomorrow night, we will try again tomorrow night.
Oh, I see it, right.
The first mate, Tony, has to tell the cattle truck drivers that no cattle will be taken off the island tonight. They'll be lucky if they even get the ramp down.
Right, the situation at the moment is it's too bad to take livestock back. We'll not be carrying any livestock back this evening. Now, what we're going to attempt to do is drop these off, let you get off, and there'll be another boat. We'll probably come back out and try again tomorrow night.
I said to him, Luke McEwen, aye, that's his name, or Ewan McEwen. Luke McEwen, forget about the brain. I said, concentrate on the body, because you haven't got much up top. So what did he do? He joined the Royal Marines.
Hang on a wee bit until we get alongside. We'll see if we are getting alongside before you do anything like taking chains off and things.
What we have to take into account is the strength of wind at the pier, the direction of wind at the pier, and also the swell at the pier, the motion of the sea. Because obviously we can get in, we have the power probably to get in and get tied up, but once we are tied up, then the ship can take a fair battering against the pier off the swell coming in, flinging us against it.
The ship can move up and down quite considerably. It can also move sideways to quite a considerable extent. There are times when we're berthing at these piers, the sea can actually pick the ship up and throw it towards the pier, which sounds surprising considering the vessel's over 2,500 tons.
Undeterred by the weather, some of the islanders make a run for it, and while the crew watch the ropes, the cattle lorries cross the moving stern ramp as fast as possible. Once ashore, they're stuck until the Lord of the Isles can get in again.
These conditions, we have to keep both the main engines running and the 2 bow thrusts on to hold and take some of the strain off the mooring ropes. Did you say you broke the rope? We've already parted one rope, yes.
Meanwhile, the bar drama continues.
He got his bread out of his pocket and he was eating it. When the corporal saw him chewing his bread and hit him one. Next second, at the back of a Land Rover, this big corporal's down on the ground and wee Ewan's kicking blazes of him.
As the captain waits nervously, Tony has to get people on board fast to protect the boat from any chance of hitting the pier.
Cadet's ready. You all ready, yeah?
Aye, we're all ready, right?
Aye, let's go forward.
Aye, let's go for it.
Aye, okay.
He went on for hours, but seemingly he blamed all this on 2 or 3 words I said to him years before as a wee boy. The power. Oh yes. It's terrible, the power you had as a teacher, that you could put something into these minds.
For the people of Bongabong, stockpiling of their anti-aging mud was a necessary but tedious pursuit. Until one day, an extremely friendly truck driver looking for Switzerland introduced them to a sparkling orange drink and agreed with one 98-year-old to trade it for the secret of his youthful complexion. Overnight, Bongabong was a mass of mobile phones, rollerblades and baguettes. And the truck driver never did find Switzerland. Fanta, welcome to the world.
Right now at your local Summerfield, buy 1 Sara Lee double chocolate gatto and get 1 free.
They're for the kids. Honest. Don't let skin problems affect your life. Neutrogena Clear Pore Treatment. Clear skin starts with clear pores. Night after night, this active gel helps keep your pores clear, gently. Noticeable results after the first week. Neutrogena clear pore treatment.
The Lord of the Isles now has the long run across open sea to Loch Boisdale in South Uist.
Here we go again, try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. No, nothing there at all. There you are, something there. I've had problems for the last 16 months with it. My guy came last night to fix it. It was working all right away across. It's coming and going, you know. It's coming and going, but there's nothing there. It's away again.
This is the end of my day, and I'm going to bed. I've had enough. It's been a fuck of a day, excuse me.
There's nothing worse than on a boat without a television. And you miss the old television, you miss the old soaps and that. You've got to get your life to tape them for you. And you spend half your time off in your rest period watching the soaps to catch up on them.
And I am absolutely peeved. Oh, God. Easy.
Hi, girl.
Yeah.
Did you go up the stairs? Are you girls? Sick?
Oh, no.
You get a wee, just trying with some of that safe sub on it.
Okay.
Get a wee Hoover for you.
All right.
Knock off?
Yep, okay.
Okay.
Yep, thanks, mate.
Other crew members are trying to coax a picture out of the TV.
Excuse me, please. Excuse me. Oh, God. Absolutely disgusting.
Better check inside the door as well, make sure there's nothing there.
I have already looked, Jez. Crap. Look, jeez. Blah. God.
No aerials. We've been trying to fix aerials for over a year. We still haven't got it right. We seem to get a picture from Mars. We can't get a picture of Lord of the Isles.
Oh, yuck. God. I just hope this doesn't make me throw up. I'm hoping I get kept on. If I get kept on, I'll stay around for another couple of years. But if I don't, I've had enough. I'm getting too old to be travelling around like this.
We're in Loch Boisdale tonight. We've just done 2 overnight sailings, and basically a Saturday night's the only night you can get ashore. So most of the crew go up on a Saturday night. You've only got from 10 o'clock to 11:30, but it's not too bad. There's sometimes a disco on in one of the other local pubs, and sometimes a few of the crew members go up there, but that's basically it. Just go out for a few quiet drinks after a hard day's work.
Nearly everyone aboard has gone for those few quiet drinks after a hard day's work.
I don't drink, John. I can still go to the pub and have a Coke, but it's not my scene, you know. I used to drink, and I've had plenty of it. And I've seen enough of it, and I don't want any more of it, you know. That's why I don't bother going up. I prefer stay here, and a cup of tea. That's me now than anything, more than anything else. You know.
Back on Tyree, Norman has a captive audience.
Clever, good bilingual, I like that. I've never seen so many good-looking people between my 2 eyes. You show that, I mean. Of course, a lot of ugly people in as well, you know.
A couple more quiet drinks for the crew.
We'll go to the local disco, about 6 or 7 miles away from Loch Boisdale, and hopefully it'll be good. We're going to have to enjoy ourselves tonight. Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, I grant her. She was ugly, you know. Her whole body was covered with big red circles where guys had been touching her with 10-foot poles.
I thought my girlfriend, Jane, because I'm very much in love with her. And I like speaking to her. And I phone her every day. And he's put that down a minute. If you cut that, right, I'll tell you someone that nobody else knows, right? As long as you don't say anything here. And it's soon to be my wife. A week on Friday. But nobody on board the ship knows that.
I've got sort of certain duties to perform. I've got to clean the boat, shampoo carpets and stuff, polish doors, just general things like that.
What are you going to do with your life?
I said, well, I would like to follow your example. I would like to go to sea, be a macho man.
In that case, we'll have to teach you how to swim. I'll never forget it. And he took me down to a freshwater loch, Loch Nadu.
I thought I'd never get out of that sack.
I'll be vigilant the whole time. Because I'm on my own, I've got no sort of backup. So if anything happens, well, I'm the sort of last man here.
3 a.m, the last sailors return.
Starting tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning. We've had a good night, and that's us, you know what I mean? A good night, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, man.
Never slept last night, no. Too busy. Too busy cleaning the ship.
Back and roll. We haven't got scrambled egg this time.
At 6:30 a.m, with the galley in full swing, the ship departs Loch Boisdale to try again for Tiree.
Open Coast Guard, Lord of the Isles, Lord of the Isles.
Lord of the Isles, open Coast Guard, yes. Good morning, Lord.
Hi, good morning, sir. TR for you. We have just departed Loch Boisdale. We have 8 hardy souls aboard this morning and a crew of 26. Over.
Okay then, that's fine.
Yeah, I wonder if you can give us a latest update. We've got about southeast of like 8 out here at the moment. Just wondering what the forecast is. Over.
The forecast southeast 4 to 6, occasionally 7. Occasionally gale force 8 this afternoon, so the wind increasing and carrying on till Friday morning, gale force 8.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good 8 out here now already, just where we are. We're just going to say left Boisdale, but yeah, I'd say maybe it's coming a wee bit earlier. Okay then, thanks for that now, gone me.
Despite the gale force winds and heavy seas, it's business as usual in the galley.
A lot of people try to put a macho image on, you know what I mean? Like roughy toughy and doesn't frighten me. But it does frighten you, you know what I mean? Maybe when you're younger and you don't really care, but when you've got a family and kids now. Bad weather. Anybody that says that they're not frightened of bad weather, kid themselves won't. Nobody likes bad weather.
Not all the passengers are enjoying the rough weather. The gale is now force 9 and the ship has an uneasy motion in the high seas, pitching strongly from side to side as well as up and down at the same time. The car deck has to be checked regularly during gales to make sure vehicles don't topple over. The master decides that with the weather worsening still, it's time to warn the passengers.
May I have your attention, please? In about 5 minutes' time, we'll be turning the ship round. During this manoeuvre, we might experience some very heavy rolling. All passengers are advised to sit down while this manoeuvre is being carried out.
Luckily, most of the passengers are already sitting down before the warning tannoy message. On the car deck, checking the vehicles are all securely fastened has become a priority. Although heavily shackled to the deck, the lorries are constantly swaying from side to side, putting pressure on the chains holding them down.
The sea's on the quarter at the moment. If it was on the bow as it was before, you know, it's when we're slamming and ship everything was falling about the place. We just weren't going to make it. The speed had dropped from 16 knots to under 6, purely by the action of the sea, and also we had to reduce it to stop her doing any damage to the vessel. So yeah, it's a pretty nasty day. get worse, but not many days worse. So, yeah, nasty. Oh, excuse me. Oh, hello? Right, okay, thanks.
Tony's been called to an emergency in the galley.
This would be called stormy weather, this. The lots just went.
What's happened?
Well, we took a big heave and everything's moved. So we all need to go and help out here and try and lift this thing up. It bolted down, not screwed down like so. It was a really good one. Everything moved.
Outside, the wind and waves get up to gale force 10, throwing the vehicles around on the car deck, which is now constantly being checked.
Going over. He's quite old now, but he's going to get some rope and we'll wash it up there. I'm better going for a new one to be set up there.
The worst of the weather seems to be passing, and the wind is easing, but several huge waves mean the galley team are still fighting to tame the display cabinet.
Rough weather, great fun, isn't it? Mind you, dangerous, very dangerous. But maybe it's a sense of danger that I like.
The galley team, under Tony's leadership, are now finally in full control of the display cabinet.
No, pull it that way. Right, shove it down. So it's just mustn't it fucking time. You alright there? That's it.
Some passengers are beginning to feel better, just as the island of Tyree comes into view.
Okay, we're slowed down a good bit. We're not that far away now, but okay, ready, we'll go for it. We'll do our best, do it.
Going for it means inching up to the pier and just at the right moment throwing a line to those waiting on shore.
Jamming is, we'll just try to get into position now and hold it alongside. Okay, the ram once we're all fast, thank you. All we're going to try and do now is get the ramp down and get the lorries on as quickly as possible so we're at least time alongside the pier. I'm just going to have to get on with it.
Tony waits as the stern ramp is lowered. First on are the passengers who hurry aboard under the watchful eye of the master. It's still too windy to get the gangplank down. The lorries have to brave the ramp, which is always moving with the heavy swell. Tony waves the lorries on, one by one, at just the right time. When the final lorry is aboard, Lord of the Isles can at last head for home.
The people in the islands are entitled to a good ferry service. Like the bad weather, where they're not getting stuff into the islands. You like to get there and provide them with a good service. You know. So it's important. It's important to give them a good service.
How you doing, Callum?
Oh, I'm not too bad. How are you? How did it go in Teddy?
Like a Gaelic song. Another monotonous success, Callum. Do you believe that?
Oh, yes, certainly do.
If you believe that, you'll believe anything. No, it was adequate. Where we actually scored was in what's known in the business as the merchandise. That means I can maybe afford a Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola, yeah.
I know a lot of people that live in the islands, you know, probably through working here. And it's a lifeline to them. And you take this away, where they're going to be. We're providing a service for them, but at the end of the day, they're keeping us employed. Without the people in the islands, where would the ferries be?
Shake hands with you now, Callum, because he's sitting here. See you next time.
Local heroes, in association with teachers, the character of Scotland.
Margaret Thompson Davis was raised in Bathgate and left school aged 16. After working as a children's nurse, she achieved her ambition to become an author and has penned more than 200 short stories and 20 novels in her career so far. Amongst them, Rich Women, Rag Women, which is the most borrowed book from Glasgow public libraries. In pursuit of realism, Margaret meticulously researches her subject matter, and many of her own characters have been brought to life in successful theatre adaptations.
I want to get into the minds of people and the different characters and how they're thinking in different ways, and that creates a suspense, you know, it creates misunderstandings, etc., which fascinate me.
This from the woman who said writers were a different breed from us. They were so far removed from the Glasgow tenements where we lived.
Glasgow's fortune was wonderful characters for a novelist just to pick on, you know.
Margaret continues to live and write in Glasgow, an ordinary housewife who's made it as an author.
Who would your ideal partner be?
Let's put it this way. If you don't have